Welcome to our final week of the Developing Female Leaders course. I know we've covered a lot of material the past 7 sessions, and I pray it's been helpful in helping you take your next steps as an individual person and as a leader in your organization. Today we are going to talk about how you can begin to implement these new mindsets and practices into the culture of your organization. You've probably heard it said that culture eats strategy for breakfast. That is so true, right? We can have all sorts of goals and ideas, but unless the people we lead and the culture we are part of is, first of all, pliable enough to embrace these new ideas, and secondly, motivated enough to work through the pain of change, we won't see our vision come to fruition. There are 4 main influences in shifting culture that you'll need to consider as you begin to be more intentional about developing female leaders. 1, your language and vocabulary. How we say things is often as important as what we say. Take a closer look at the types of words or phrases you commonly use to talk about or address women. There are obviously the negative ones we've talked about before, such as describing a woman as bossy rather than a strong leader. But oftentimes there are subtle distinctions that are reinforcing the wrong culture. For example, describing a woman as a great facilitator rather than a teacher or a leader. There's even been some research documenting that when a man is introduced to a group of people, or even before making a presentation, the host will usually describe his professional accomplishments and leadership qualities. While for a woman, regardless of what she is speaking about, she will be introduced by who she's in relationship with, such as who she's married to or who her friends are, and the traits of her personality, such as friendly, positive, energetic, rather than her accomplishments. These are subtle differences, but as you can tell, can really reinforce the wrong cultural attitudes. 2, boundaries around what kinds of behaviors you will allow and what we celebrate. One of my ministry mentors used to tell me, you get what you celebrate. If you highlight leaders who are doing a good job inviting women into leadership roles and developing them, then you are going to get more of your team doing that. On the other hand, if you allow your leaders to limit women or discriminate against them in any way, you are not only allowing that kind of behavior to remain in your culture, but you are reinforcing it to everybody else that that is acceptable. 3, your visual symbols. Using women in visual ways can do a lot to reinforce your beliefs about a woman's ability to contribute to your ministry. This is probably the most common practice of churches who have made progress on developing female leaders. Women can be seen leading in all sorts of ways throughout a church, serving on leadership teams, leading projects and initiatives, studying women in the Bible as a normal part of your sermon planning, and the most common, placing women in strategic roles in the weekend worship service. This can be as simple as having a woman give the announcements, leading a worship song, praying for the offering, or even teaching a message as a guest speaker. Whatever your position on this, think of ways that you can raise the level of awareness for women on your platform. And finally, 4, pacing change. It's easy to forget, especially as a leader who's been investigating this topic for a while, that not everyone is going to be excited to embrace these changes. Whenever you are leading change of any kind, it is vital you think through all the important stakeholders and influencers and give them an opportunity to hear what's going on in your heart and to ask questions about it. It's easy to assume that all women would easily welcome having more female leaders in their church, but the biggest resistance I have ever had to my leadership has come from other women, especially those who have gone before me. I mean, let's remember, these are women who have oftentimes been taught that women leading is wrong. They've usually had their own gifts squelched and dismissed and made to feel guilty for wanting to serve others through a leadership role. It takes time and clear biblical teaching to help women understand your perspective and embrace the changes you are initiating. Be patient, but please be intentional. As we wrap up our time together in this course, I want to thank you for your willingness to navigate the minefields of this challenging topic. The fact that you are this committed to the process makes me confident that you'll begin to see some beautiful changes in your team and church. The road may not always be easy, but as you lean into what the Lord is teaching you and calling you to, I know that He will reward your efforts to release the potential of His talented daughters into your ministry. May God's kingdom come. If you'd like additional resources or to connect with me personally, please reach out to me through my website, katiecole.com, or on social media @KatieCole. Until then, keep pressing on, and I will be praying for you.